deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be? Brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson.
Welcome to Powerful Beyond Measure, a podcast about radical transformation, gritty stories, and the undeniable power of second chances. I'm your host, Matt Culp, a man in long-term recovery who believes in the power of grace, grit, and growth. Each week we sit down with real people who've overcome real struggles, from addiction to adversity, and found purpose on the other side. No fluff, no filters, just healing, truth, and hope. Because the truth is you are powerful beyond measure, and it is time you knew it. That'll work.
It's not too bad, man.
Yeah.
You did good.
I did good.
Yeah.
Took 3 times.
Oh, hey.
That's all right. I'll get it down.
Yeah. It's our first episode.
Our first episode. This is Dustin Underhill. Actually, this is our 6th episode.
Man, I hate it when you say that.
But today we're going to talk about what recovery means to you. We're going to talk about transformation in your life. We're going to talk about just kind of what's happened to you and how you got here. So I guess let's go with what's a powerful story in your life that maybe made you want to change your life and transform yourself?
Okay. So, always as a kid, I always knew, I just got a gift of how things work. You know what I mean? Even people, I know how they work, right? Which sometimes can be a bad thing because you can manipulate
the situation.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so there's so many stories that I've had a couple of things happen in my life where, I did change, but then, you get that comfortable. You're like, oh, well, hey, one ain't gonna hurt, and it's like, and then you fall back in it. But from the time I was 18 all the way up until I was 32, I was on Suboxone. So I never really was clean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that shit right there. So, I guess really you don't realize you hit rock bottom. You think you hit rock bottom, I hit rock bottom. Then something else will happen. You'll go further in. You're like, well, it's rock bottom. And then, your 5th or 6th time hitting rock bottom, you're finally like, hey, I'm finally at the bottom of the hole, bud. You know what I mean? I thought I was there earlier, but I just kept falling. And I've hit rock bottom a couple times, I thought, but I guess the last time was just really, I told myself I would never live with my parents ever again. I moved out at a young age. Boom, I said, I'd never go back. And here I was stuck at my mama's house on the couch. And that shit ate me alive, dude. You want to talk about, and that's something I said, dude, I'll never go, it ain't nothing against them. It's just something I told myself, man, you've always been independent, and that's whenever I'd gotten a hold of Matt, and told him, and then I got a hold of you, and then, but I guess I know it's with my kids and everything, that of course has something to do with it, but it's just the whole fact of where I was at. Man, I knew if I didn't get up out of there and change right then, that, man, I don't know how much longer I would have made it anyway. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been a whole lot worse.
What's the difference of being at your mom's or your parents, and being in jail? I mean, both are ripping your independence from you. You know.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but just the childhood trauma. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just so much bad. You know what I mean? Like, it just
Yeah, that
it
makes
flared.
sense.
Like it for real. And you know, just a bunch of bad shit happened to me when I was a kid. You know what I mean? And like you know, it was just wasn't like it was like intentional or their fault. You know what I mean? It's just the life they lived, and we lived it too because we was in the house with them and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it was. But
Kind of stuff.
just drug activity and like crazy shit. But you know, we didn't go to school on Monday and talk about our weekend for sure.
Just instability and
Instability,
drugs.
drugs, domestic assault all the time. You know, like I remember my daddy, he started smoking crack, and he had me and my brother go outside. I think I was 11 or 12 at the time, and he had a fold up SKS, a plastic, like the plastic one with the stock folds up on it and stuff and
Yeah.
everything. And he would give us the gun to go sit out there because he thought people was like outside, you know what I mean? And we'd have to watch, be on the lookout for him, you know? And like, hell, we got school in the morning. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? It's like, man, it's fuck. Be at school like this. Tired, bro. Well, why you so tired? And you don't want to say nothing, you know what I mean? But
Did you know it was not normal?
well, when it first started happening before it, but yeah, but like we knew if we protested, we'd got our ass beat, you know what I mean? So that's how that cookie crumbled. So that's really like, you know, just bad stuff, man. Like, I used to have to sleep with my hands in my pockets, you know what I mean? I had money come up missing. I had to put my money in my pockets, sleep my hands in my pockets and stuff so my money wouldn't come up missing. And like I was telling you last time, you know, we fended for ourselves, man. I hustling, working, whatever, you know what I mean? Like just whatever to get money. It was just like a free-for-all, you know? So my stomach just growled.
Mine too.
Dude, I ate Wendy's right before when I went and got the cords.
What'd you get?
I wanted double cheeseburger, but they gave me a single. I realized that when I got here. I was like, man, dad, gone.
Man, fuck Dave.
Yeah, dude. And Wendy.
What do you think? Like, I know you talked about like what happened before you were at your mom's on the couch. Like, how'd you get there? You know,
Incarcerated.
incarcerated.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotten pulled over and this cop, well, I didn't even get pulled over. I was at the gas pump. The cop came up to me and he's like, hey, you know, he's talking to me. He's wanting to search vehicle and he's wanting to do a field sobriety test. I'm like, all right, we'll do all that. And he's like, dude, I'm going to take you to the jail and run you through the scanner thing. I'm like, what? We get to the jail and he's like, I'm charging you with DUI. I'm like, man, come on. And my bond wasn't, like I had a violation of probation though. Did I have a violation? No. When I got there, within 3 days, my violation, I was on probation. It violated me, boom, because it's DUI, you know what I mean? But I wasn't even convicted of it. They amended expedited the warrant for it. Really, I shouldn't have been violated until I was convicted of the DUI, you know? But if I would have made bond, maybe it would have been different. But, you know, and at that point, too, like, my bond on that was like $250. And I called someone, you know, someone that I thought would come get me, you know, and they wouldn't do it. And, you know, I lost my father whenever I was in there. That's why I pled out to the DUI. Like, I told that person, I said, look, man, I just talked to my dad. He's not going to make it. And they was like, oh, you're just tripping. Don't worry. Everything's going to be all right. And I'm like, nah, I had that gut feeling. I said, man, I'm pleading out. Next time I go to court, I'm pleading out. And it's a good thing I did because I pled out like on a Monday, or I pled out on a Thursday. He passed away on a Monday, and my release date was that Thursday. So, and we buried him Friday. But like, if I wouldn't have pled out to it, I would have beat it. I didn't have no drugs or alcohol in my system at the time. That's what was crazy. It was just like my word against his. You know what I mean? They did the alcohol thing, you know, pulled the blood out of me and everything at the jail. But you got to wait. It takes like 90. It almost takes six months for those test results to come back if you're sitting in jail waiting on them. Now, if you have a paid attorney, someone that can push the process, it'll probably go a little smoother, quicker. But you're on the street, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You want to prolong it anyway if you are guilty. You know what I mean? But yeah, and I don't know. I told myself, I was like, man, dang, dude, like someone would come give me $225. You know what I mean? Hey, my homie in jail, bro. I'm coming to get you. Like it's someone I care about for real. If that person would have been in jail, I would have done whatever I had to do to get that person out. You know what I mean? If I had sell my car, I would have sold my car. You know what I mean? Type shit. Like, yeah.
What do you think? Like this time in recovery compared to the last times? Like, what's different?
So, what's different is my whole mindset is, I guess the last times I wasn't doing it for the right reason. I was doing it to try to make someone else be happy, proud. You know what I mean? Like impress someone else when I was just doing it for the wrong reason. At this point in time, I was like, man, and plus I like it. You know what I mean? I grab hold, I like it. Got the guys at the house, man, we all cool, I be giving them hell and stuff, though. It's fun, though, man. Like, I ain't saying that I didn't like it. Whenever I was in First Things First, I would read the books every night when we do, like, a house meeting, whatever. I read every meeting or whatever. I always did the reading at Serenity. I read out of the book there for everyone. But it was just like, that time when I was reading, it was kind of just really for me to pass time while I'm at the meeting. Like, hey, instead of sitting there looking at my phone, I could just read for everybody because I do like reading. And but I had it in my head, once that 90 days hits, that's all I got to be here for, parole. And hell, I left at like 10:30 that night. You know what I mean? On my 89th, 90th day, whatever it was, I was good to clear to go. I left, as soon as I was able to. And I didn't start using the internet. I had a good job, met a woman, moved in, got custody of my son, was working, and then something happened, situation happened, and I let it get a hold of me, and I started drinking. And, it wasn't like I was drinking a bottle, a $50 bottle of Crown a day. After working 12 hours, be gone for 14 hours, come home, swig the Crown, go to sleep, wake up at 3:45 in the morning, and leave, go to be at work.
Whole bottle?
Whole bottle, bro. It's cost me $300 a week. So I switched to Jim Beam, the
green
Red
label?
Stag.
Oh.
Yeah, that Kid Rock, man, it's good stuff. I ain't gonna lie. It's like blackberry whiskey or something like that.
It's not good.
At the time, you know what I mean? It's like, it went from $50 to $13, so it was good,
Yeah. I don't think I've ever liked the way any of it tastes.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know if I can necessarily say I like the way it tastes, but it's like one of those things.
You get like used to it, like smoking cigarettes or.
It's not that bad, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I guess you're right. But I started doing that, and I'm drinking, like I would get drunk. I wouldn't even remember hitting the bed, man. I'm boom, boom. Me and my girl, we into it, and then, I'm tired at work. Finally, one day, I'm at work, and I'm like, man, I know this little fucker over here is doing something because I can just tell, you know what I mean? And I bumped down on him and hollered at him whenever we got off. Sure enough, I got the pack, and I did that, and that wasn't really like yeah, it was bad, but like it was just a situation I had going on at the house, like between me and my girl. Yeah, it was just, man, I let it get the best of me. Really, I should have handled it better, I guess, but I never been in a relationship like that, and I Plus, I just did 5 years, man. It fucking, that shit messes with your head. You know what I mean? Like, my mentality's a lot different, you know? So it's like,
How so?
you know, you want to trust someone. So what I told myself in 2020, whenever I got out, is I just, anybody that I had a problem with, I wiped all the slates clean, because while I was in there, I was losing sleep thinking about these people. You know what I'm saying? So finally, somehow I figured out how to just tell myself, so like, I'm done worrying about anything that happened, conflict, whatever. I don't care, because they're not worried about it one bit, right? And anybody new that enters my life, I'm gonna give them 100% trust. I'm not gonna question nothing they do until something happens, and then I'm gonna lose every bit of it, type shit. You know what I mean? And something had happened, and it crushed me. I was like, dang. And I guess it really shouldn't have been like that bad, but I mean, to me it was. I don't know. To someone else, I mean, outside looking in, it couldn't have been, but it was just I was like, dang. I mean, I'm not gonna get on the topic of it, because I don't want to be over here like I'm bashing someone. I ain't trying to make no one look bad. It's just that's just what happened. You know what I mean?
Also, you're like, it's whatever it was, you know, like it's also based around whatever type of trauma you already had. So,
Yeah.
like, you know, like sometimes just like, you know, you might be reacting different, but it just changes, you know. I mean, I've done crazy shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to explain. It's just it's an emotional thing. You really
Yeah.
you can't explain it. You know what I mean? It's a feeling. You know, it's like, man, and like I said, it crushed me, dude. And really what I should have done is just pick myself back up, but I just, instead of like I couldn't talk to the person about it, because it led to confrontation and stuff. And that was one other thing too. Like, you know, I was taught as a kid, you know, like my grandma said, a guilty dog will bark every time. My grandma ain't never lied to me, you know what I mean? You know, like, but, you know, some people, I don't know. It's just what it was, you know, like, and I'm one of those people at that time, like, I didn't know how to, I would just snap out, you know what I mean? Like, because that's what you know, like I said, I just did a little time, you know, 5 years, like, you're not going to be like, oh, okay, yeah. You know, it's hard to grab a hold of that. Like it. And so I would have to like get away or just, you know, snap out. Like, and it sucked, man. You know, like I said, you know, in our previous little episodes we've recorded, but I'll say it again, is there's two things you can't take back, and that's words out of your mouth and bullets out of a gun, you know, like, can't do it. They might forgive you or whatever, but they'll never forget the stuff you said. And the same thing goes back and forth with each person, you know. It's like, man, you say hateful things, and it's like, you know, kids hear it, they're around, they hear it, they definitely, you know, when they don't understand, you know, what's going on, they're just catching, you know. It's like me, I'm the outsider, so whose side, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying they should pick sides by any means. I mean, it's their mom or whatever, you know, I should ride with her. I'm proud of you for that, you know what I mean? I ain't mad at you one bit, it's your mama. But you know, like, I was like, dang, I couldn't, like, get no one to see my side of the story but me. I didn't really want to tell nobody what was going on either, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to talk to no one about what was going on, because the person I want to talk to didn't want to talk about it, you know what I mean? Like, no, it's no one else's business. But
Yeah.
you carry that around, you know what I mean? It eats you up. Like, dang, man. And it did.
One thing I've learned in like therapy, I mean, it took me a long time. I mean, I'm still not good at it, but like I learned that like I'm not my triggers, you know, like how I react. I didn't grow up in the best situation. I didn't grow up in the right city. You know, like I grew up in a place that's induced, you know, like I react in a manner that's usually not appropriate.
Exactly.
And I'm not that trigger, you know, like, and like my therapist is always on me, like, you should communicate that, hey, I'm not, like, I know that I might be triggered, but this is how I feel about that situation, you know?
Yeah.
But, and there's like, stepping out in that manner is like vulnerable, and I feel like that it's going to be used against me. Even in that scenario, like, I still feel like I am being, that I can be took advantage of.
For sure.
And
dude.
that's that old shit in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like you said, like, it'd be used. I never load the clip for nobody, bro. It's hard for me to talk to anyone because you're giving them ammo. You know what I mean? You think you can trust, like, or tell someone that your feelings, and next thing you know, they telling this person about, oh, he, you know, it's like, dang, man, you know what I mean? Like
it's
I,
it's a very like I'd say it's a human thing to want to protect yourself. It's definitely a man thing. And then like if you're grew up in the streets or in that scenario, like where you just can't, or in jail, like it only hardens that more and more and more and more. Like you just cannot. Vulnerability and being open and honest are like what
yeah,
it's not something I should be doing.
exactly. I'm not gonna paint myself red for you. You know what I mean? For sure.
I've never heard load your own clip for you.
Yeah, I've said that a lot, bro.
Yeah.
I've been saying that a lot for a long time. When it was happened to me, it hit me. I was like, dang, I did that with someone, and they went and ran their mouths about it. I'm like, dang, I just loaded the clip. And
I think like for me is like realizing that if I want to be all into in a relationship, like especially in that scenario, like I have to do my part. And if they hurt me with that, then that's on them, and I'll sleep good at night. Like that's hard transfer to make, being in a situation where I'm from or how I grew up or data that's been collected by other people hurting me.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to do that. But like if I'm gonna sleep well at night, then I have to like go out and do that. And like it's took me a really long time just to identify that that's what's going on.
for sure.
Yeah.
I wish I would have been able to do that. You know what I mean? And like I said, maybe the outcome would have been different. But you can't fight fate. It is what it is. But
So what happened when you were? I mean, it sounds like you were drinking, trying to shove it down.
yeah, I was just trying to block. You know what I mean? Trying to shut it out. Like
And then you started.
I started using ice. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And freaking so. And then it was like we would just argue all night, man. You know what I mean? And then I got kicked out, and then I started seeing I'm losing everything again. Like here I am, I lost everything when I went and did that 5 years, and then here I am. I've done accumulated a lot, and I'm losing.
Again.
Yeah, again. You know what I mean? It's like I'm spiraling, and I just go to rehab. Like I said, I would have took a bullet to my head before I walked that door because I was so worried about my pride and shit. You know what I mean? Like dumb shit. And I mean, I did try to go a couple times. Like I was ready right then, boom. I even went up to the Vanderbilt place, but they wouldn't accept me because I didn't have it in my system, at the time. Like, and it was weird, and it was just, man, it was a constant, it was just toxic. Like, and finally I just became reclusive. Like I had me, my dog, we in the whip all the time, riding around serving. And, I didn't want to hang out with nobody or nothing really.
Did you lose the job?
I started my own business.
Okay.
But then, that was, I really had some good stuff lined up, man. I actually had an opportunity to buy a business, a window cleaning business that a buddy of mine owns. He's had it since 93. And, I knew, though, like, he's a buddy of mine. If I would have went there and he'd have seen like me, I would have lost a good friendship with someone, and like, no joke, man, the guys, hey, you could be a millionaire within 5-10 years, you know what I mean? Like, and, just good money, like, and I just didn't even take it on because I was like, man, if he sees me like this, dude, he's going to be, if I get started and he sees me like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's just going to be bad. I knew everything, how to like do all the work for the business and everything. I just didn't know the like paper side of it, the legit, like, logging taxes. And then at that time I just ran it to the ground, really. Like
You would have?
nah, I mean I could have took off, but really like I was so worried about like just my situation and everything like that. I should have put work first. Usually, like I always do, is just work hard. Like, boom, I let work distract me or whatever, and really I did the complete opposite. I let myself distract me and led to more self-destruction. And then I totaled out my work truck, so I didn't have no way to haul my trailer. I had the enclosed. I had like a regular trailer. I lost a bunch of tools. I don't know, man. I mean, just, you know, when you're living that life, dude, it's just like you accumulate so much shit and you lose it, leave it, forget it, whatever, find it again. You know what I mean? It's, you know how it is, dude. It's freaking chaos, man. And, you know, I ended up getting arrested and I went to a treatment center in Kentucky and it was a good place. And I went to a halfway house afterwards and, they were supposed to give me this good job with this Ford company plant. And, then something happened with, this other guy come. They were like, oh, hey, y'all need to try to go get a job together. And what it was, the guy that came there, he was at his dad's halfway house, and a couple of the guys at the house were saying, oh, he's getting special treatment. And his dad had just did 17 years in the feds. He'd only been out for like 3 years and got this halfway house. And he was like, you think I'm giving my son special treatment? Pack up, homeboy, you gone. He's like, he kicked his own son out. He's like, yeah, nobody gets special treatment around here at all, you know. And so when that guy got there, he, you know, they were like, oh, y'all two get along. Y'all should go get a job at, I think it was like Zaxby's or something. And I tried to get a job at this place in Kentucky. It's like Home Depot or Lowe's, but it's not called that. It's something different. And same setup, though. But they don't, I got aggravated burgers, so they're not going to accept me. I don't even think the freaking Zaxby's would have accepted me. But in Kentucky, the pay is a lot different because the cost of living is a lot different. So
Yeah.
it's like nothing, dude. You know what I mean? You're on,
It's like $11 an hour.
if that, dude. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be in the afternoon with like high school kids and shit. And I was like, dude, I'm not doing it. And you had once you got there, there's no grants or nothing. But so when you got there, you had like 2 weeks to get a job, or no, you sit for 30 days, right? You're like it's not a blackout because you get your phone, but like you know, you can't go nowhere. Like, you know, I mean, you go to leave, but you gotta come back. You know, it's like, but you go in these classes every day. And the first day, my first day when we pulled up, man, dude was there. All his stuff was on the curb. As soon as we pull up, he's like, hey, I got to go handle something. Dude gets out of the car. They're cussing at each other and everything. Dude lives in Atlanta, the guy with all his stuff on the curb. He had gotten a job, and he was behind on his rent, but he got a job. Because you're going to be behind because you got to sit down for like 30 days, you know? But he thought he was getting paid like his first week, but they're holding like 2 weeks or whatever. And the guy that owned the halfway house thought he was getting over on him. He thought he had done gotten his check, you know what I mean? So he just kicked him to the curb. And I was like, golly, dude. I mean, y'all couldn't pull a bank statement or something, you know what I mean? Like, you know, get a little proof going up here, nothing, you know? And I was like, man, I was up there. I didn't know nobody either, dude. Like, nobody. And I ended up, I was like, man, dude, plus I didn't have a vehicle. I was homesick. Like, I was like, man, I just want to get back to Murfreesboro, at least where I know I can move around. And I know people get a job up there. Like, I just didn't know. I was way out of my comfort zone, and which might have been a good thing for me. But there's just, I don't know. I don't know, man. I should have probably stayed up there. But, like, the person that I was in a relationship with before, you know, we're always talking, and, you know, she gonna come see me. I'm gonna go down there, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess that kind of drew me back too, thinking like, oh, hey, we're gonna be able to rekindle, and we didn't. You know what I mean? I ended up coming back, and that's when I got arrested for a DUI one night, and you know, past couple of years been freaking rough, dude. Just doing dumb shit like I would never do. People know me my whole life, and my previous few charges, they're like, ain't no way. What was wrong with him? He's tripping. Like, for real. I ain't no thief. I ain't never stole nothing from nobody. Nothing like that. And then, you know, I stole a truck. I so ready to get out of where I was at up there in Smithville. Stole a truck. Got bammed up. Boom. Like, and then, you know, I got out from that. I'm back. I'm in the same spot where I wanted to get away from so bad. And that's whenever, you know, like, Matt hit me up, and he's like, boom, you know, you need to come here. And it was a great decision. Like, I was nervous. I was scared to death, man, because, you know, like, I'm not saying I don't know how to live this life well. It's just I've never done it. You know what I mean? Like I've never done it, and so it's new to me, and but I mean I've adapted pretty quick, and it's straight. I mean, it ain't like it's a hard thing to do. It's really just, I say like one of the hardest things is dealing with people, you know, and I mean, that's just, but that's life anyway, you know.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, I like talking with people and shit, but like back, you know, when I was using the shit, you know, I really didn't, I deal with people like if I had to, but like, someone like interacting, I don't know, like the interaction with people, you know, we're talking like not what I'm used to talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's just, I guess I kind of phrased that wrong. It's hard to find, like, it's not hard to find conversation, but it is kind of for some people because it's like, say this right here. And you know, this is like, I've been in this situation. You meet someone, say a female instance, right? You've known this life your whole life. She's over here on a whole nother tier over here. Fucking, you know, never lived anything with, y'all go out to eat. Well, you know, what are you going to talk about? You know, yeah, I used to have the ounces for this right here, you know what I mean? And, you know, they're over there like, yeah, you know, got to get my kids into daycare prices, so, you know, what I mean, it's just, it's hard to be compatible, but even though we're all in the same program, everyone's just like, I don't know.
Some of that stuff will go away long term.
Yeah, but one thing about me though is I'm real good with like, I can talk to some people, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm one of those people, like, if I feel like what you're saying ain't like informational or educational, or I don't know, I got like the ignorance part, I just stay away from it. That's kind of what I'm getting to. Like, there's a lot of people that just don't know nothing. Yeah. And it's not, I mean, it's not their fault. It's just because of the life they live. But, like, it's hard to hold an intelligent conversation with people sometimes, you know, like.
It's hard for me to, like, I really, like, appreciate grit in someone. So if I speak to someone, let's say in my neighborhood, where they're just, like, haven't ever walked through anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's really hard. Like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have got better at, like, kind of, like, looking through that. Like, there is something there. It's just, like, that vanilla shit really bores me, you know?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
But the older I've got, the more sober I've got, the more I'm, like, I kind of have leaned more into the vanilla. Like, in sense of, like, I should be like, dude, I'm in bed at 8. You're up at 10:30? You know?
Yeah.
Like, my life is now boring, you know?
But I mean, that's really like the ultimate dream, though. You know what I mean? Like, for people like me or us, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, dude,
not for a long time it wasn't, but yeah.
Like, you know, I was telling someone the other day about, you know, me and Jesse, we went out on the boat and about sunk, you know what I mean? And it was just like, you know, we calm, we out there just, you know, and other people have probably been freaking out. I'm like, man, dude, I'm so used to chaos. There's nothing. Boat sinking in the middle, like, oh yeah, we're fine, you know.
It ain't my boat.
But no, it wasn't that. I mean, I was worried about that, you know what I mean? But I was like, man, I mean, he did know it was taking on water, but not like this. Golly, dude, it could have been catastrophic if you didn't have a good quick thinker up there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, at one point the water was all the way over the back seats. Whew. Yeah. I'm talking about, man.
Don't tell me stuff like that.
I'm being dead serious, bro. Yeah, it was bad, bro. For real.
So what other struggles, like, in recovery, you know, it's like, say it's kind of like hard to adapt to conversations or just kind of blending in better?
I guess one thing too, like, there's only certain meetings I share at, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really share like at the other meetings because unfortunately in recovery, there's a lot of like snakes and grimy people because that's who they was whenever they was in active addiction. And, you know, like, yeah, they might have not be getting high, but they're still like, you know, snakes and grimy. You know, they'll take something and run with it. Oh, this person's seen you there, so they're gonna say this about, you know what I mean? I mean, you don't know what I was doing there. You know what I'm saying? I could have been dropping some food off. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I don't know. I don't share or talk to that many people at those meetings because of that reason, because I flip out.
I just and that I mean I practice. I'm just always sharing in the solution, anyways. So it's not really about me. It's about like what the literature is saying or something that's happened to me that's experience on the other side. So I'm never. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I don't get vulnerable in meetings because I do sometimes, but I'm okay like either way, like with the shit that they could hear about me in a meeting.
Yeah. You know, for instance, is like that situation where that person that called Scott and said, you know, a bottle of liquor fell out of my truck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to flip out about that. But, you know, I was like, man, dude, why? You know what I mean? Because, like, a guilty dog does bark. But, you know, like, I think it was just because of a whole nother situation that was going on. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, but,
Yeah.
you know, Scott, you know, he just started laughing. He's like, yeah, I told her, you know, you got a breathalyzer in your truck. You can't. I was like, yeah, you know, but I'm like, dang, man. People like that piss me off, bro.
I had one time this person came to one of my friends and said that I was selling Xanax at the sober home and steroids
At the
and-
gym.
no, at the sober home,
Oh,
like
yeah.
over on Richardson. And my friend came to me and was like, "Can we go to lunch?" And he was like nervously telling me, like, he's like, this person is saying this about you, and I was like, he's like, he needed to know, like, is it true? And I was like, no.
It's amazing what people conjure up, though, you know?
Yeah. And I was like, I just didn't understand like the thought process of why this would be a rumor.
Yeah.
Like, it just wasn't.
Like, where would that come from? Like, what would
Where-
you get out of that?
Yeah,
you know?
what are we achieving out of you saying this about me? You know, I mean, I was like you in a sense, like it just didn't need me. I don't think I've ever even brought it up since then.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it just doesn't. I don't need to rationalize, justify, or explain something that's not true.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, exactly. That's for sure. But, you know, part of you wants to, like,
Defend
pull up on
myself.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, man, hold up, dog. For real.
Yeah,
Like, why would I sell steroids at the sober home? I'm go to the gym where people need them. Yeah, use your head, dog. Yeah.
I think they were on steroids at the.
Oh, okay,
There
yeah.
it was a good jump. Like these people were on steroids. Matt could have been selling them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I
But
don't
you
even-
know, someone to take something and just run with it, man. It's disgusting, but it is what it is. You know.
I mean, sometimes I say crazy stuff. Like one time I said that I was going to give everybody steroids and then just whisper to them like other sober homes are talking mess, you know,
Do what?
and then just be like, walk away and see what happens. you know?
Yeah.
So sometimes I could say some stuff that might be wild, you know.
Well, you know, it's like I say crazy shit all the time. You know, like there's no telling what I'm gonna say half the time. But
Yeah, I know.
But you know, hell, we didn't have lights on the trailer, and this guy, when we was leaving the other night, tow truck pulled up next to us, and he's like, "Hey," and I said, "Jesse, watch, you gonna say something about the lights?" So I rolled the window down, and I was like, "Them lights working good back there." He's like, "I was gonna let you know." I said, "It's all right, we're undercover cops, bud. We're good." Like that. He's like, "Oh, okay." Boom. Jesse was like, "Holy shit!" You know?
Sometimes I don't know where you get it from.
Yeah, neither do I, dude. It just happens. You know what I mean? But it's usually pretty good. So,
What about some of the positive things about
man,
recovery?
just really not having to, like, you know, look over your shoulder, worry about, like, and plus, really, I'm one of those people. I've never been a hater, dude. That's one thing I ain't never been. I love seeing people do good. I like, it's just not only me coming up, but just the people around you. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
love seeing that shit, bro, for real. Especially like people that was been struggling, and that, you know. And I mean, it'd be the little things like a phone or new pair of shoes. Like, man, you know, I know how that is, man. Like, I love seeing stuff like that, man. It really brings joy to my heart, for real. Like, I took old Frank to go get a phone the other day, you know what I mean? Like, he just got there, he's like, you know, and he's worried. I'm like, that morning, I was like, before I went to Marymount, I was like, come on, man, we can go to Walmart and get your phone card, you know? He's like, oh, thank you so much. He goes, I didn't know I was going to get there. I was like, you got to have a phone, man, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to log into your meetings and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and it just made his day.
Yeah.
And he got my number, and he texts me all the time. Thanks, Frank.
Don't give him my number.
I won't, bro. I don't, man.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that I ever seen in when I started doing sober living was that watching me achieve goals in their life, like that they were like they couldn't get done, like they hadn't had a birth certificate in 5 years.
Yeah.
And like as soon as they pull up, I was like, get in the truck, let's go.
Yeah.
And then I would just go get them a birth certificate and get an argument with the health department. And then I'd be like, as soon as we get into the parking lot, I'd say, hey, listen, it's probably going to get a little uncomfortable in there.
Just ride with me,
Don't
dog.
say anything aggressive and don't say a word, like, because they're going to be like, well, you don't have anything with your license, your name on it. I'm we're going to go through this whole process where I'm just going to be uncomfortable, but not aggressive.
Yeah.
And they're going to give you what you need. you
Yeah.
know?
It's just like, I got this, dog.
Yeah. And then we come outside and they're just like, they're holding something in their hand that they haven't had in 5 years. you know?
Probably longer than that, though.
Yeah,
You know,
sometimes
since
longer than
their
that.
parents had, like, something they probably never had, you know,
Never.
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just kind of seeing, like, once they see that these things can happen, like, we have a birth certificate, ID, and you
Yeah.
have a job by Thursday, and they're just like, dang, like, this stuff would have took me forever. Like, I don't want to take that from them, but I want to show them that it's possible, you know?
Yeah, and like how y'all pay for the ID and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the guys come in, y'all did it for me. You took me up there, got me ID, paid for it, boom. And I was like, dang, you know, that's straight. And then, you know, like some guys come in and they're like, man, I ain't got ID. I'm like, man, don't worry about that. With Kyle Scott, he take you up there tomorrow. They're going to pay for it, bro. You ain't got to pay him back. You
Yeah.
straight. For real? Yeah, dog, I got you. You know?
Yeah.
They're like, all right, cool. You know, it's like, man, you know, wow. You know?
The other part of it that I liked was that it is kind of on them. So, like, you, like, you know, say someone got new shoes, like, I mean, I do like to see someone shine, but I admire, like, the grit part. So, like, that they...
Well, I mean, like, after they done got a job and they're doing, you know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
like, just stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
that. But
say that, like, they paid all their license down. Like, I'm definitely going to, like, show up in their life and be, like, say that I'm proud of them, or, like, say they paid their debt all the way down. I'll hand them back money. You
Yeah.
know, like, just to see that they've done what they're supposed to be doing. you
coming
know?
through, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
That consistency and everything, like,
It's easy to show up once. It's hard
For
to
sure.
show up over and over again.
For
you know?
real.
Yeah.
that's true, man.
5 weeks in a row for someone like me is, like, crazy, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that. I tell you too, like, just being out, like, helping people. The other day, we're coming here. As a matter of fact, the day we went out, I stopped at the gas station to get us some drinks, and there's a dude out front. You know, I ain't saying pestering people, but, like, I knew what he wanted. You know what I mean? When I come out, he's like, "Hey, man, you got a couple bucks spare for gas?" I was like, "What pump you on?" You know, I was just trying to see, did he have a car or was he trying to get some money? He's like, "I'm over here on 18." I was like, "Shit, I'm fixing to throw you $10 in there, bro." You know what I mean? Dom had just gave me 50 for helping. You know, I wasn't worried about no money. It was like I wasn't even expecting to get that money. You know what I mean? So I was like, man, he helped me. I'm fixing to help him. Made dude's day, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that made me feel good. You know, it was probably got him to, you know, wherever he wanted to go. It probably wasn't somewhere good, but, you know, he got there, you know, with a smile on his face for sure. So, like, and yeah, I like stuff like that. You know, it's just, there's a lot of good perks that come with it, you know, and it's one of those, like, pros and cons. There's a lot more pros than there is cons, you know what I mean? It's like, just don't even measure out. Like, you know this in your head, even when you're getting high, like, hey,
Yeah.
there's a better life. I know it is, but you just think you can't achieve it.
I don't think risk versus reward come into play with, like, people go, well, why do you still use, or why do you keep doing this, or why do you know, like, I don't think that risk versus reward comes into play when you're using drugs or alcohol on a daily basis, or trying to get, like, before trying to get out. Like, you know that it's out there. That stuff doesn't come into play. That's
Exactly.
like, you know that it's better on the other side. It's just, why do you keep doing it? I mean, that's kind of the age-old mystery of why, you know.
It's that,
That's kind of like people on the outside go, like, well, why does he do it? You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
it's like, well, you know, but a lot of it, you know, it's like, some people, you know, I guess I could say like me, you know, like you never think you can make it out because like you lived it your whole life, like you as a kid. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, I mean, you know, you can, and you tried and failed. You know what I mean? It's like, dang, you know, it's like you don't want to put yourself in that position of failing again because you know it's like one thing I learned too is you want to set small goals and not big ones because if you set a big goal and don't accomplish it, then you get, you know, that you lose that confidence. If you set small goals like, hey, I'm gonna make sure, you know, I'll make my bed all this week, just little shit like that. It'll eventually help you achieve a bigger goal, like just step forward, step forward, step forward. You know, after you make sure you make your bed up every day of the week. You know, I'm gonna clean my truck out this week, or, you know, just little stuff like that. Then you start getting bigger goals, and then you don't even think about like what's how hard it's going to be to accomplish it. You look at like what do I got to do to accomplish it more or less than like what's going to get in the way. Like just all right, I got to do this and that and that. Okay, boom. You know.
Yeah. When we do, when I'm working through the steps on step 5, we have to do like a personal ideal, and the way we do it is 5-year goals, 1-year goals, and then 3 to 6 month goals. So your 3 to 6 month goals should push into your yearly goals, and then your year should push into your 5.
To the
Who do I want to be in 5 years?
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Which is a hell of a question to ask, man, because really at that point in time, I feel like, I mean, you've done the steps several times, but like as a newcomer or someone, you know, or even me myself, you know, like it's hard to say who I want. Of course, you know, I mean, you got this big picture in your head, but you know, like it's hard to sit here and really look at like, you know, what do you want to be in 5 years? You know, I tell you, you know, just to better and you know still, but like it could go a lot deeper. You just got to sit down. Like it's hard to wrap your head around that right now. You know what I mean? Like that's a.
well, you answer the question.
I can't. I mean, I mean, I can. It's gonna be some like I'm not gonna say bullshit, but like it's not gonna be like what I probably will really want to be in 5 years. You know what I mean? Like that's something, you know, like 5 years I want to be bored, bro.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I mean, sometimes those things mean things to you. Like for my sex ideal, I want to be a safe man. What that means to me might not mean the same thing for you, but what it means to me is in 5 years, or in my sex ideal, I want to strive towards being a safe man. That's going to take me a really long time.
Yeah.
So that I can go to a place I don't want to, but if I took your girlfriend out to, if I took your girlfriend in 5 years out to coffee, nobody thinks a question because I've placed integrity behavior over and over and over again that my wife and you don't think nothing. And
Yeah.
people around me don't think nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So like in my that was my sex ideal, but my personal ideal, like I want to be a great dad.
Yeah.
That means I've established, for me, that means I've established like great integrity over and over and over and over again, you know?
For sure, for sure. And that's something good to have, man. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they say it's not what you do when everyone's looking, it's what you do when nobody's looking, you know, and like I'm big on that, you know. That's all we have, man. I appreciate y'all listening in.